to the Tracksuit podcast, where we are going to be in tracksuits and talk to awesome entertainment people in the entertainment biz. Today's guest is our good friend Justin Cornwell, not Cronwell, as I've been trying to call him for the last couple of weeks, but Justin Cornwell, who is in so many amazing things, and we are so excited to have him here. Thank you.
Yeah, what's up, y'all?
What's up?
What's up, Justin?
How are you? Man? I'm doing great. I'm using my sexy podcast voice for you.
Oh, yeah. I could tell it switched. You know, one thing that's really interesting about you, I want to kind of just dive in on before we even get deep into the podcast. You mentioned your sexy podcast voice. You do really great impressions.
Oh no!
Oh, what?
Yeah, I mean, I think I do pretty good impressions.
He does fantastic impressions. Do you care if I kind of mention a couple that you're pretty good at?
Okay, well.
I mean, you do. He does an amazing Dave Chappelle.
What?
What are you talking about? I don't do Dave Chappelle.
He does.
That's a stand-in right there. That's amazing.
I'm way too tall to be Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle's short. He has no talent. He's talentless.
No, but he could do a great Dave Chappelle. I mean, I think. So tell me, does that come from the acting side, or you're also an incredible singer? Does that come from the control of your voice from singing?
You want to know, in a lot of acting practices, I try to tell people that I think that a lot of things that actors neglect is voice training. And when you get your voice connected to your body, connected to the ground, that mind, body, spirit thing is easier to kind of access. And then I think that's why the impressions can come in. That's why people can transform into characters and stuff like that. And I just wish, and I think that comes from the singing. Right, because then I've studied voice for so long, and then I'm acting, but then it's like, oh, this is really one thing working together. And I think a lot of people neglect their voice, and I think that makes a lot of performances suffer.
Yeah, because you have incredible control over your voice, being able to do impressions, such a fantastic singer. I mean, for people listening who don't know this, Justin can really sing. Anytime we go to karaoke, he brings down the house and everybody just like freezes and goes like, is this a professional singer doing that? Yeah, no, it is.
Together.
I definitely, if I ever want to get a song in, I make sure I go before him.
Oh, yeah.
What I do now is I just bring a bunch of other professional singers to pad me up, you know what I'm saying? So I don't feel like an a-hole and be like, oh, guys, can't do karaoke now. Just saying Whitney Houston. I'm like, oh.
How old are you, Justin?
I'm 37.
37? Oh, black don't crack. That's for sure.
I mean,
that's for sure. You look phenomenal. I was like, I wasn't for sure. Did you start singing or acting first?
Wow, that's actually a good question.
I mean, just whenever. I don't know exactly when you started.
Well, I grew up in a video store. My grandmother owned back in Ohio.
Like a rental video store?
Yeah, like a rental video. It was
that's awesome.
She was bootleg all the movies, so it was illegal. But
she had a legal storefront, but a
legal storefront, but illegal copies of the tape. Sorry, Hollywood. But, I'm paying my dues now.
Love.
But I watched everything before Netflix and all that kind of stuff, man. You just had access and could rewind and watch it 100 times. Yeah. And I fell in love with storytelling and just all of that stuff first. And then I think I just really liked, singers, and I could tell how moved my mother was by like R&B music and stuff. And then when I sang, it made her happy. So I kept singing. So I think they kind of developed at the same time. I think being in movies and stuff is something I wanted to do for myself, but I realized singing makes people happy. So I developed that as well,
That's amazing. Now, my ex-girlfriend from years and years ago, like we used to hang out. She used to work at a video rental store, like a kind of a knockoff, like not Blockbuster type vibe,
Selling
so
Medea,
And I'll bring this back up later because you went to the Faces of Death premiere here recently, and that was something where I would see that Faces of Death old movies sitting in there, I was scared of that shit.
We were seeing people die on the internet when we were kids.
That was way pre like social media and stuff to just kind of like be off topic on that deal.
It was the first viral video, essentially.
And it was so crazy.
Like an actual video.
Yeah. And nobody would ever rent them. You know what I'm saying? They would just sit there, and nobody really ever wanted to be
what do you mean nobody? I definitely rented them.
Well, you rented everything. You recorded that.
I'm going to see that line maul that guy 100 times.
I would go to the video store when I was a kid, and the clerk would just be like, yeah, we got some fucked up shit. And he'd just like name all like Ichi the Killer, all these crazy things, because that was like your Sherpa of film.
That's
like
right.
you had like this like burnout video store clerk that just knew like really crazy movies and would just recommend them to you. And I was like 12 years old watching like Old Boy and Ichi the Killer and Faces of Death, being like, this is awesome. I can see all these crazy movies.
Ichi the Killer got brought up so much back when I first met you. That was such a big movie that people were pushing on to say, hey, like we're trying to make some things that are like this, because that was overseas, right?
Yeah, well, it was a Japanese movie, but it's also the only movie I remember that somebody gets kicked so hard across the face with like a shoe that has like a knife in it that their face gets cut off and hits the wall. And I was like, that's pretty cool.
Then you must have loved that freaking gory joint I did with Gareth Evans.
Yeah. No, exactly. That was awesome. And actually, speaking of that, what was it like working with him as well as Tom Hardy? Because I'm a huge fan of all of his movies, both of them. Realistically,
what did you work with Tom Hardy on?
Havoc.
Oh,
yeah,
for Netflix.
Havoc came out last year. We shot it in 2022. In Wales for about 5 months. And I got to hang out with him, and it was my second film with Forrest Whitaker, because we did a musical just literally the year before that. For
Chirac.
No, the musical Jingle Jangle.
Jingle Jangle, right.
Yeah, we were just
sorry.
Yeah.
And so that was literally like, we did that.
But Chirac was also a musical, right?
Well, yeah, but Chirac was shot in Chicago.
Yeah.
In like 2014. Mm-hmm. So
that's where you worked with Dave Chappelle.
Yeah, I did.
That's where you learned the Dave.
If you watch the scene where we're in the strip club, and it's Dave Chappelle, like, Spike would just put the camera on Dave, and he would just do this long pushing and just let Dave riff for like 20 minutes, and then he would reset the camera. He wouldn't even cut. He was just, it must have been horrible in the edit, but he didn't even cut. He just reset. And it just reset and did these long pushes, and Dave just I'm doing my thing. You know what I'm saying? And it's these long resets, these long push-ins, and then he's throwing the joke at me, and then I think I'm standing behind Wesley Snipes. We're all standing in a row, and when you see the frame, it's like I'm like in the frame. It's the four of us standing in a row. While he's like, where's all the strippers at? I need my strippers.
That is wild.
And if you watch the movie, it is a funny scene, because then Wesley Snipes looks back at me and another guy. Well, first he looks back at his first main guy and he goes, he's like, all the girls quit sleeping with dudes and like just quit being like, sexually, available for men until they stop fighting in the streets. And that's kind of the premise of Chirac. And we go there. Dave Chappelle, the strip club owner, is like, there's no more strippers on the pole. We got to get something. And Wesley Snipes does this voice and goes, baby, go ahead and get on that pole. And he looks back at us. And I'm like, holy shit, this is all improv. And I'm looking at Spike, and I'm like, I'm not going to get on a pole in my first movie. This is crazy.
The first movie. That was your
gotta give me some time.
That was your first movie?
That was the first time I was on a movie set.
How did you get that role?
I auditioned for Spike at this little theater around the corner called the Black Ensemble Theater in Chicago. It just came through my agent. I had already done Empire at that time, and I also done like guest stars on like Chicago PD or something like that. So I was already a union actor by that time. And I get this audition. They don't even tell me Spike's going to be in the room. Usually they'll tell you who's going to be there. And it's like, oh, there's an untitled Spike Lee project, and they're just, doing some rounds of auditions and stuff. And then I showed up over there, and it's like tons of people. I was like, what is this? They're just like, Spike's here. I'm just like, are you kidding me? No, I only had one line of dialogue for the audition. Now I'm freaking out. This is my best audition story too, because I walk in the room, and it's Spike and casting director Kim Coleman, who's since casted me on Umbrella Academy, and she also cast me now. She's great. But it's Spike and Kim Coleman. And I walk in, and I'm nervous as heck, actually. I never actually really meet people like Spike Lee in my life at this point. I mean, I've done a couple of little, Empire, Metrology, and that kind of stuff, but I'm in Chicago, and I'm just kind of getting started as an actor, like my first couple of years or whatever. And I just wanted to impress him. So I came in with one line of dialogue. I was like, I don't need my sides for this. I just left the sides outside. So I'm gonna walk in there memorized. I'm a Shakespeare actor. I walk in there, and I look at Spike, and I look at Kim, and he goes, "You ready?" He's like, "I'm ready." And Spike looks at me and goes, "Where's your sides?" I'm like, "Oh, it's only one line side. You come to an audition without your sides in your head? What's wrong with you?" I'm like, "Oh, no, Spike, I know the line. This is one line. I had to do it." And I'm like, oh no.
Oh, he threw you for a loop.
I fucked up the line.
He fucked up the line?
I fucked up the line. Dude.
Yeah.
I totally started freaking out. Flop sweating instantly. I'm like, I should have brought my size.
But you still booked it.
Well, see, that's the thing. I was like, man, I fucked that up really bad. Can I cuss on here?
No, yeah. Of course. You walk out of there thinking that? Like walk out of the audition thinking that you
Yeah, I mean,
up?
I messed up the line. Kim was like, just calm down. We'll do it again. I was like, all right. Yeah, when you going that thing, man, when you doing that. You know, like whatever. The line was. And then I was just like, he was like, all right, good. Get out of here. I'm like, oh, thanks, Spike. And I left. And then I was like, I didn't hear nothing for like a week or so. And I got like a phone call. It's like, hey, Spike wants you to meet him at the W Hotel downtown. And I'm like, oh, man, I got the part, man. I'm going to meet Spike. We're in a Spike Lee movie, man. And then I went over there down to the W, and it's like,
and he's like, "Where are your sides?"
It's once again. I thought that I was like, "Oh, I'm going to meet Spike in the hotel room." Blah blah blah. It's 300 people there
at the dub.
Oh yeah,
at the W.
Oh, it's a callback at the W.
But I was like, "Why are you cattle calling us back like this?"
Yeah.
And then when I got and it was like we all waited there for hours, and then one at a time we would go into a hotel room with Spike. And if all 300 people, one at a time, coming out, one at a time coming out. And I seen they holding stuff in their hand. They got hats or something like that. And it was my turn to walk in. After like an hour and a half, I walk in there and it's just Spike in this hotel room by himself. And I sit down and he goes, I want you to be in Chirac. I want you to be in the movie. And I'm like, oh shit, this is so cool. I'm going to be in Spike Lee movie. And he goes, I don't have any lines for you though.
You said, cool, I don't have my sides on me.
It's like, I don't have the sides. Yeah.
And it was really funny. He goes and he explains the whole thing. He was like, you got the Trojans and the Spartans and the blah, blah, blah. And then you're going to be on the Trojans. Then you're going to do this and then blah, blah, and you're going to be one of Wesley's, captains of blah, blah, blah. And you're going to be in a couple scenes of blah, blah, blah. And so, and he's explained this. He talks really fast and he goes, so what team are you on? I was like, oh shit, the Sharks? And he goes, no, that's West Side Story.
The Sharks are the Jets, yeah.
And I think that he laughed. He laughed at that. He had to laugh at that. It's like, I like West Side Story.
That's fucking awesome.
So
yeah, I'm in the movie.
Yeah. So you have, a unique situation because I think I saw you post about this on your Instagram, but you have now like, was it 5 or 6 years in a row had a network show?
10 years.
10 years in a row. Network
studio,
show.
No.
A studio.
No, I've worked for the studios consecutively for 10 years in this town.
That is incredible. That is, I mean, that's something that most people, I don't think many people can say.
I have to kind of attribute it to a great team of people around me who believe in me and getting some incredible advice at the beginning of my time here in Hollywood. When I got moved out here by Warner Brothers to do a training day sequence.
Right, yeah, let's talk about that too, because you were the lead opposite Bill Paxton.
Yeah.
What was that like?
That was incredible, man. You have to understand, at that time I had done, those couple guest star spots I talked about, Chirac.
Yeah.
And it had gotten to the point where I was like,
that was like a watershed moment, though. Like,
but I was getting more auditions from Hollywood than I was getting theater auditions in Chicago.
Yeah.
And I just thought, well, let me just concentrate on these Hollywood auditions. It seems like somebody in Hollywood wants to see me some more because they keep sending stuff with my name on it. Then I'm like, yo, they know somebody's typing my name. Even if it's an assistant, somebody's typing my name on the watermark.
Yeah,
they're saying that means they're saying it, or it's written down on a list somewhere in Hollywood.
I mean, just even to throw it off a little bit, like even like Matlock the other day when you was doing a new episode, like they had your name kind of like watermarked across the whole script, which is the first time I've seen that. But
that's how I was getting sides.
That's awesome.
And the sides would be watermarked just like that with my name on it. And I was just like, I've never even seen that in Chicago. But in Hollywood, it's like somebody's watermarking these sides just for me. And I was like, somebody's saying my name somewhere in the Hollywood casting office. And I was just like, I should concentrate on this.
Did you attribute that to the casting director from that first project that you were able to kind of
funny enough, I did get more after that. And Kim Coleman has been one of my, biggest supporters and just a great woman and hired me for several things now, including Umbrella Academy.
And Matlock came from you working with that same team on Bel Air, right?
Well, one of the producers on Matlock, her name is Gina. She was also a producer on Bel Air.
But I mean, it's great because it just goes to say how important relationships are in this business, and,
But also
and
the
people
second
you've worked
lead
with and gotten to know.
Was a friend, had been a friend of mine for almost 10 years. I
Wow.
met her when I was doing training day.
Yeah.
And she would tell me that Matlock was a very similar dynamic, like, you know, the young black upstart and the older, you know, more seasoned person but they kind of have interpersonal conflict, but they also have to, you know, find a way to get along so they could fight a bigger evil kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like, that was the same dynamic that training day had. But, you know, because I was the young kind of upstart and Bill Paxton would, you know, but that bled out into real life, you guys. Me and Bill ended up becoming just great friends. Hanging out every single day. You know, we carried tons of dialogue. He would tell me it's the most dialogue he'd ever done in his whole career. And we would go back to his place every day, and we'd have a little whiskey, a little Woodford Reserve, as was his favorite double barrel, and we'd have a little bit of that, and we'd go through the scripts for the next day. And we were doing 16-hour shoot days back then. They don't really do that anymore.
How many days? How long were you on
Well, sometimes we'd push into weekends too, but there was 8-day episodes, so I would ended up having to cross shoot 2 episodes on a single day. So I would end up in almost every scene, and so like, you know, it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then
12 episode season, right?
It was 13.
13 episodes.
And so then but then what happens is by the time you get to episode 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, you're backed up. You didn't shoot that one thing right. You got to do a reshoot here. You got to do a reshoot there. So now we're doing Saturdays. We're breaking turnaround, which I was just like, new pair of shoes, new pair of shoes, new pair of shoes, new pair of shoes.
How many days or how long did that take to shoot? That
whole thing was 6 months. Damn. It was a blitz to the end, and it was a mid-season replacement type show. It was a summer show, 13 episodes.
Shot here though, right?
LA was a big character of the show, and that was such a cool kind of thing. I've never really been to LA, except for one time I was being testing for something for shots fired literally the week before I got training day, and it happened like that. There was just like, I'm testing for something, one show on Fox, and then the next week I have my own show. I was just like, this had moved fast as hell. Like, I literally went from 0 to 100.
Did you audition for training day?
I did one audition on tape in Chicago, and they gave me 14 pages. They said, "Can you get this in by tomorrow?" I said, "Yeah," and I did it off book, and it's a bunch of exposition too. And they were just like, "How did you memorize it that fast?" I was like, "I've been doing Shakespeare for the last 6 years." You know what I mean? This television dialogue is actually not that dense. When you're like reciting like monologues of like Bible verses, dang there, you know what I mean? So my mind was already kind of ready for that. And then I ended up they called me the next day. It was a Wednesday. I turned it in. It was a Wednesday. I got the audition. I turned it in on Thursday. On Thursday night, they said, "We need you in Hollywood tomorrow."
That's crazy.
I was in Hollywood. I was in Hollywood Friday afternoon.
And you were in Chicago
Yeah.
at that time.
Literally, I was an extra on a tobacco commercial print shoot. When I got this size, they didn't want to let me go to the shoot because I looked like the main guy. And they're just like, don't use him. So I sat extras holding and just read these sides. And that I had time, so I didn't have to do anything but sit and holding for 6 hours, and I memorized the dang on things. And then after that, I shot it Thursday. They wanted me in LA. They got me plane tickets instantly, like as soon as they saw it. Friday afternoon, I'm at Warner Brothers doing the screen test in front of Jerry Bruckheimer and Danny Cannon, who did the first Judge Dredd movie with Stallone.
Yeah.
Ended up being the executive, like creative producer, and directed the first episode of that. And I'm in front of these guys now, and the entire team at Warner Brothers, literally, and I'm shaking. I'm a flop sweat guy. That's why I do most of my stuff on tape. I'm a flop sweat. I'm flop sweating. They literally.
I've spent a lot of time with you, and I've never seen you like get nervous like that. So I think it's funny that I almost wonder, like, is that actually how you are? Or is that mentally what you think you're like when you're nervous?
They took me out of the room and they said, "Hey, you're shaking on camera." It's
well, I guess that answered that.
It was just like, go ahead and take a walk around the campus and come back, and we're going to shoot it again.
I mean, but that also shows how much they must have actually wanted you, because
they
were like, "Yo, he's nervous, he's shaking," and like, we're taking him anyway. You know,
amazing.
What I learned is that you have to allow people to be a part of you. You have to be a part of people's dream and allow them to be a part of your dream. I walked into Warner Brothers, And they brought me in a little bit earlier than the other guys. And when I got there, I got there on time. They like 4 or 5 of the producers ran out and they go, "Oh my God, Justin Cornwell." And I'm like, "Hi." And they're just like, "You're Kiki's client." And I'm like, "Who's that?" She's like, "She used to be our intern way back in the day and she was the best intern and now she's an agent and you're here. And you're here with us and there's an opportunity." Like they were already writing and we found this great girl who's an agent and her client. But like they're writing the anecdote that they're going to say at the dinner. And it's me in their story. They're already writing it.
That
you
makes
see
sense.
what I mean? It's not about the casting process at this point. Now they're creating stories.
And she was an intern there for them and then became that makes sense. Yeah, no, they had already wrote the fairy tale.
They wrote the fairy tale. So not only for me, but for her and so they can say that they did it. And I was just like, oh, this is happening to me now.
So I got to throw it back though. Like
just enjoy the ride at that point.
Exactly.
How was your mama feeling on that situation?
She was proud. You know?
Yeah, I bet.
How old were you at that time?
26.
I mean, that's kind of an incredible moment.
For 26, dude. I was like, oh my God. And it's funny because I didn't have any student loans and like I had no debt. Like I had just got out of debt and suddenly, I got some money in my pocket and I'm on the billboards and I'm on every bus in town and I'm just me and Bill Paxton doing our mean mug, like really cool jawline guy thing.
That's amazing. a jawline. Do you still get scared now when you go to auditions or even to like, just to have that first scene or the first few scenes?
I get way less nervous though.
That's awesome. How do you deal with that?
Well, I don't go to auditions.
Well, yeah, they don't even do mostly in-person ones anymore. It's usually tape at this point, right?
There's so much tape.
Everything they did on Wonder Man was our hardest thing used to be having to drive from North Hollywood to Santa Monica to go to like Betty Mays or something like that. Our hardest thing now is to find someone who won't F up the read, basically.
Yeah. So I'm going to pivot real quick because I told you to bring your iPad because one of your amazing talents that I don't think anybody who follows you really knows or many people know is you are an incredible artist.
Yeah. I'm in love with art. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, anytime I hit you up, most people will be like, "Oh, I gotta study these lines, or I'm doing this or that." You're like, "I gotta finish drawing this thing. I'm working on it." Like you will literally sit at your house drawing for hours and hours and hours, very frequently. So I kind of wanted to have you show just something so people could see just how incredible of an artist you actually are. I mean, it's honestly shocking. It's kind of mind blowing.
And if you're cool with sharing some things, we'll throw it on the screen on the side so you guys can all see what we seeing.
So, what's your question?
Well, were you more as a kid growing up, in the rental house for the movies? Were you still like doing artwork back then? Like, was that something you started?
That was the first time I was identified as anything artistic. I would draw the faces of the kids around me in kindergarten.
Oh wow!
And then the art teacher said, "He's really." That's what my mom said. Your son's really good at this. Like he can make the kids look like them.
You must have been a very interesting kid. You're over there singing songs, reciting Shakespeare, drawing pictures of everyone.
I didn't start reciting Shakespeare until college. Okay, Shakespeare came later. I was singing songs. Yeah. I was acting ADHD'd out, which is basically the beginning stages of every actor. And I was drawing pictures and that's what I was doing. But then by the 6th grade, I was programming computers.
Well, let's check out this. Let's check out something of yours.
You want to know? This is a cool thing. I want to show this piece because it's. I worked really hard on it. I think I want to make some posters, probably sell it and stuff. It's my cast of Havoc.
Oh, amazing!
If you guys seen the movie, for the wrap gift, when we wrapped the movie, I drew everybody's face, and it took me the whole time. 8 hours for each person. I drew everybody's face and a portrait, like a black and white portrait. And I gave it to them on a handwritten card, and then I gave it to everybody for the wrap gift. And then as an opening gift, I thought we'd open sooner than 3.5, 4 years later. But as an opening gift, I ended up sending everyone canvases of the collage of everyone's faces together.
Oh wow!
And printed on canvas, and I sent the director one printed on metal with scratches and stuff, and it looks like gunmetal and stuff like that.
That's epic.
And this is this piece right here. Let's see if it loads right here. Right.
What? That's wild.
You want to move it a little closer for BJ to see? Real
You know what I'm
quick?
saying? Yeah, and
then-
go ahead and you can like zoom in on the faces there,
my
and see the
gosh,
detail
dude.
because each of those faces are actually
Like, wait,
like,
are you drawing this like just with like pencil?
I mean, that is unmistakably Tom Hardy and Luis Guzman right there.
unmistakably.
That's extraordinary.
This is what I used to do traditionally.
Yeah.
When I'm in my traditional practice, I did mostly realistic faces in charcoal and graphite. And so what I wanted to do is kind of recreate what I did realistically with digital tools, but only using the tools like I would use the tools on paper.
Dude, that's
you know
awesome.
what I mean? So that's why it has a look of. It looks like I you can see every line. I actually have it so you can see as I draw.
Can you zoom in and show that to camera? Yeah.
Yeah, no. So you can see Luis Guzman here, me right here. Drawing myself is kind of funny, and it's
He made sure he had a strong jawline.
a
in
jawline
what he-
on point.
Does studying faces like this and expressions help with your acting?
it's not working. There we go. This camera right here.
Yeah.
That's extraordinary.
And
dude.
so, does studying faces like this and understanding facial expression so much when you're drawing help with your performances as an actor?
You know, it's funny because I want to do like if I ever become a teacher of this, I want to do a class. There's a book that I read that instantly transformed my acting, and then when I mentioned the book, no one actually has ever heard of it.
Shout it out on the podcast.
I'm about to shout it out.
He was just building anticipation. My bad.
And I hope I don't mess up this guy's last name. But there's 2 volumes of this book, and I actually haven't even really read the second volume because it's called Acting Face to Face by John Sadal, I think his name is. And when I mentioned it, like people were like, I've never heard of this book. It's like Acting Face to Face. And you can see on I got my director calling me for $1 Million Bet right now because we're about
I was
shoot
going to bring
something.
that up next, actually. $1 Million Bet.
You want to talk to him on the podcast?
That's up to you. Yeah.
If you cool with it, we do it.
Hey, what's going down, Thomas from $1 Million Bet? I'm on a podcast right now, and you are too.
Well, actually, yeah. So we'll jump right into that. So you have, which I've already seen the movie. It's awesome. It's a great performance by you. You have $1 Million Bet coming out very soon. You want to give just like a brief synopsis of what that movie is, and you shot it during COVID, if I'm not mistaken, right in Las Vegas.
I mean, shooting it during COVID was an intense situation, but we all banded together and got the movie done. But I think it's a brilliant little movie. I think it has a lot of heart. It also shows the power of friendship. It also shows the power of learning from your mistakes and stuff like that. And how would you give a synopsis of the movie, Thomas?
Hello. Do you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear.
Yeah.
I can hear you. How would you describe the $1 Million Bet, Thomas?
For me, it's a very simple but strong film about friendship and money. Set in this special situation of Las Vegas, and yeah, touching very very briefly but intense this aspect. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a story basically for people listening. Justin's character is a gambler, and he makes a bet against one of his friends that his friend cannot run a certain amount of
72 miles.
72 miles in
hours,
24 hours, and it's some hijinks ensue.
Yeah, and it actually releases on Prime, Apple TV as well, April 30th.
Yeah, so it
is coming out very soon.
Yeah.
This is my plug for the movie.
Yeah.
With like Las Vegas as the backdrop of the movie.
And it's I think it's brilliantly
it's shot in
used, and
Vegas.
it's shot in Vegas. And I think that it's shot in parts of Vegas that don't feel like the Strip. It
Okay.
it
Yeah,
feels
it's-
like outside and more lived in.
Yeah, the seedier like parts of it where people have moved there as professional gamblers.
Oh, okay.
And I think that's kind of very interesting to explore. And I also think this is one of the more indie projects you have done.
I think it's.
the most indie.
I guess you would call it the most indie at $300,000 with the budget. And I've done another indie, but We Are Boats. But it was like me and Liam Hemsworth and Uzo Aduba. Like it was indie, but we had a bunch of stars in it and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So this is probably the most indie thing that I've done. But I think the scrappiness of it, I think, is it's endearing.
but it lives on your shoulders a lot of the movie.
Yeah. Me and Douglas and Sean, but I think that we balance it pretty well. Okay, see you guys.
That's real life. That's real life LA right there.
We're gonna keep that Mr. Busy Justin Cornwell. We're gonna keep that on the podcast. So
that was my whole conversation. Oh, Jesus.
So I've been meaning to ask you about that because I know you do like to play cards, which the character does in the movie. Did that come from doing the film, or was that before?
I had been playing poker for a long time.
Yeah,
I think the issue that I had was that I hadn't done it for any kind of big money. But then I lived out in Vegas for that time and just started spending money in the poker
You started
room.
becoming the character going method.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Bruno Mars situation on that deal.
I was nervous that this movie was kind of riding on these performances. And I was just like, well, if this is the only time I get to be number one on the call sheet on an indie film, let me go method.
Go play a little bit on that deal.
And I'm definitely going method for this.
You late night in the casinos just hanging out.
Yeah, totally messed up my marriage. But hey, you know.
but I will say I do think it's interesting too because I don't think a lot of actors realize this, but I actually think your big swings as performers are the indie projects you choose, not the studio or TV shows. I mean, those definitely advance your career and are awesome. Don't get me wrong, but taking a stab at an indie project, you're obviously doing it for the love of the character and not the money. So
money.
so choosing that, I think that is the swing. Was it the gambling or just the fact that this is a broken guy trying to put himself back together and really at the end of his rope?
I love people in desperation.
Yeah.
I think desperation makes for good drama. I think it makes for good suspense.
It hides that you're shaking when you're on camera too.
And I can use that nervousness that I instinctively have to build into the camera.
That hand might not be the right hand on that. Yeah.
No, but I mean, he gives a very, very great performance that is super, I think, unique because you do show that desperation, but at the same time, we can't decide if we want to root for you or not because of the circumstances of the film. You're very likable, but so is the person you're betting against.
I think I'm the villain of the story, but I'm also the only person who has an arc in like his whole redemption thing. You know? What I mean? So I think that at the end of the story, one person doesn't change; they're doing the exact same thing, and the other person completely changes.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So you can see that his heart grew 3 sizes that day, or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yes, he was the Grinch of Vegas.
Yeah, but I think that this is based on a true story. That guy goes off to make tons more money in the crypto space.
So
still gambling.
Just a different kind of gambling.
So wait. Maybe I missed it. Sorry if I did. That's based on a true story?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
I actually was doing it in Vienna. I was supposed to do a video call with this guy for an audience, but I couldn't make it. I was in the middle of some production. So, but yeah, it's a true story. This guy and his friend made a silly prop bet, and at the end of it, he decided to do something else with his life.
Pre Polymarket. This was before.
Before
that, Kalshi, where you could just bet on anything.
Oh my gosh! At some point, all this has got to be illegal, right?
I'm sure it is. I don't understand how. I mean, California, you're not allowed to gamble.
I mean, I put $400 on Mike B to win, and I won, and I was just like, money. This has got to be illegal. It's like my bookie's on my app now. It's an AI bookie. It's crazy.
They did a whole South Park on it where the kids are like betting on literally everything. Like, will Kyle's mom get angry?
Right.
And it's like, then they're just pissing off the mom on purpose to get her to like.
At what point, because this stuff used to be illegal, at what point did the society start to say, oh, we're encroaching too much on the thing that we were trying to stop, rampant gambling and all this other dark stuff. I
have absolutely no clue. I think that for some reason there is a gray area when it comes to this because you can't gamble with money, but what you're gambling with in these situations is like some other currency, be it crypto or whatever, and then you're transferring it back to money. So I think it's because crypto has not yet been classified
not on Kalshi,
fully
on Kalshi, you're actually gambling with straight money. Like on stake, you're gambling with SC, and then like you trade it. But on Kalshi, you're gambling with money.
Oh, really? Yeah, because on stake, I know the SC thing, so that's how they get away with it. It's like sweeps coins.
But there's another loophole on Kalshi where you're like where you're betting. Where you can bet on speculation. Like it's not illegal the way that they're doing it. They've gotten through the loopholes where you could just bet like this. Yeah, and so the way it was explained to me, I was just like,
feels
it's a
illegal,
completely different thing.
It feels illegal.
The other day, we just literally was just like, damn, whoever made that app is fucking making that money at this point.
Even the state guys are probably making cash.
Yeah, but I mean, it feels like we allow it to go on. I'm sure it'll get shut down soon or eventually, but it is
my bets quickly. Then.
It is, yeah. It is odd that it went from like completely illegal, like to like, oh yeah, now there's 40 different types of apps you can bet on and play slot machines and cards and all these things from your house, and suddenly you can lose thousands of dollars in 4 clicks.
But do you know how this is rigged? During the Oscars, I went on Kalshi and I saw the percentage of the speculation for who they thought was going to win. Kalshi was almost 99% right on every category except for, I think, documentary, where the Putin one that was kind of an oddball. And I was just like, somebody knew who was going to win.
Well, have you seen I mean, not to get slightly conspiracy-ish, but have you seen like the massive, plays that have happened on either Polymarket or Kalshi where it's like, will, we attack Iran or whatever, and like nobody knew that was going to happen, and then suddenly, will this happen within this day? And it does, and it's like, wait, hold on. Or like, these people in government are making hundreds of thousands of dollars betting on themselves to do stuff.
Mm-hmm. They say, I'm about to push this button right here. Let me bet on that shit.
Exactly. I mean, like, but look, if you were betting on what would happen in the finale of a TV show, right?
Yeah,
and you're in the show and you know exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah,
would you not put a bet on that?
I mean, that's so true.
Sorry, the fact that you're able to bet on who's going to win wrestling matches, like WWE is scripted. Like,
so there's somebody who's making bank because they know exactly how it's going to turn out. They know exactly what's going to happen. They might even be over there making the speculative bet. You know what I mean? And so now,
well, I wonder if there's like, I bet you there isn't anything to stop insider trading within that sort of thing, right?
Well, I mean, but not because it's not regulated by like the FCC and stuff.
Exactly, but yeah, I mean, like it's like, who's going to win? Love Island, like, right?
Yeah,
they've already edited the show.
Like,
it's months. It's been done for months. The entire crew and cast know what happened.
I bet it's a money rinsing scheme.
When you and I met and we were doing that business, remember we used to go to Lantana. Office. I used to go down to that bar underneath. That was where the Survivor
they already knew one.
These guys were like, yo, dude, we taking Survivor and we are editing every day. They would come in, the editors, and they would be like, yo, dude, we are just creating stories on Survivor. Like, it's not even a real story. We creating it through the edit. And they were like, we all are like kind of pushing for one person that we all kind of have. It's almost like that Josh Kelly Unreal situation where it's each producer gets a person and they're all kind of working to see how they can get that person to win that situation by edit, by everything that they can like manipulate, by interviews, that type of deal. Crazy shit. And I was like, y'all know who wins. And he was like, we kind of manipulate who wins. Like, we can kind of script it story-wise to do it. And I was like, that's insane.
I don't watch this stuff.
Yeah, same for us too. I reality show, but besides the Kardashians,
besides Love Is Blind.
I love
on the Spectrum. Oh my God.
Love on the Spectrum. I said, damn, I'm already in that.
It's not quite a reality show, but I'm very much into Jury Duty.
But it's like a mock reality.
Yeah, but it's a lot of fun, and I think it's very wholesome. Like it's they did it the right way. Like they're not, being mean to this guy. That's, the only, for people who haven't seen Jury Duty, it's a TV show on Amazon where essentially everybody's an actor except one person who doesn't know that everybody else is an actor. So he's on a jury and everybody's an actor. It's a fake case, but they're filming this thing and he thinks like this is just how jury duty goes. And they just put him in weird circumstances, but it's very funny and it's a lot more wholesome than you would think.
Damn, that's brilliant. That's brilliant. That brings it back to an
I wanted
artist
to do a horror movie like that, by the way.
Fucking phenomenal.
Where everybody's an actor but the lead, and they just don't know that we've created this entire scenario that is a full from beginning to end horror movie for them to survive.
I mean, but I'd be careful because in the middle of that they kill somebody for real because they're scared,
right? But or at least they make him think that they do. You know
that's why Justin's not going to be the one who's in there.
I think Justin's doing the killing. He's like completely convinced.
I die first
of the deal on there.
Well, so Justin, sadly, I mean, this has gone pretty quickly, but we are getting towards the end of our podcast. I know you have a pretty busy day ahead of you with going to a Laker game and obviously whatever that phone call was.
They want me to table read for a short anthology movie that it's an anthology of shorts that and when they do one in Paris and they'll do one in Prague and they'll do one here in LA.
Oh, amazing.
Table read today?
Yeah.
You busy.
We got to shoot it tomorrow.
Damn.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you could squeeze us in today.
Yeah, thank you so much.
So where can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram, Justin_Cornwell. You can find me on Twitter, Justin_Cornwell. And that's probably the only places you need to find me. Anywhere else, it's my house or it's creepy. Yeah, so.
Anywhere else is your house.
Is there, for my final question, like, is there anything, if you could have any role that you really have dreamed of, you've done the on stage kind of Broadway style vibe, you've done the singing type vibe, is there any role that you would be your end all be all to have, something that you really want to do? I mean, I could definitely see you in Marvel movies and things like that.
You know, I mean, listen, I think when I was a kid, I was always like, I want to be in Blade. I want to be Blade or something like that, right? Mm-hmm. And that's still out there, you know what I mean?
Well, that must have been awesome meeting Wesley Snipes and working with him then.
It was.
Yeah.
So that was, kind of a dream come true. And with Dave Chappelle in the same scene, it's like, it's a lot of greatness right there.
Yeah.
So I thought about, man, I could be a good Blade. But then, I'm writing a situation about like Nat King Cole and Eartha Kitt and this other thing that I just think it would be brilliant to play someone like that. I'd love to do a biopic. I was scheduled to do one last year about the first black guy who had his own firm on Wall Street, but the funding kind of fell through and the direct, whatever, Hollywood stuff. And I just really want to do a triumphant biopic, you know what I mean?
That would be cool.
Of somebody that that did something that's kind of unsung or something like that, or
Pursuit of Happiness type.
You know what I mean? Yeah, it's like Pursuit of Happiness type thing, but like a Pursuit of Happiness type thing.
Yeah,
or like a Nat King Cole, like this big, I'm too tall to be Michael Jackson. He's already got a biopic, so
it comes out next week.
Go watch it. It's gonna be good. I have a good feeling. So I got some friends in it and behind the scenes.
Yeah,
too.
Coleman Domingo, who
I met Coleman, we had the same PR team, and he just came up to me back in 2016 and just on this red carpet at NAACP Image Awards. It was just like, hey, Justin, I heard you was good.
Well,
correct.
What's really incredible about Coleman Domingo's career is he's been a working actor forever, and in the past 5 years, his career has blown up. Both him and Walton Goggins they've both been working nonstop forever, but literally in the past 5 years, it's switched into like celebrity.
I don't know what that is, but I think
I think it's amazing. I think it shows that if you just keep at it and keep doing stuff, something will switch.
I think Justin Cornwell on next White Lotus, that you would be fucking dope on White Lotus.
I think though what it is, especially for Coleman and talking to the PR and stuff, it's being able to identify yourself. And I think a lot of actors, we become other people and we don't have a branding that's very strong. We're just acting. And then when you got Walton Goggins and you got Coleman Domingo, they'll do that one or two roles that suddenly their branding starts to come into focus. And then they know how to put the clothes on. Yeah. And then they know how to walk. And then suddenly it's themselves and who they are is more of an easily accessible thing that people can now be like, oh, and Coleman does this, that, and that. And you become much more than just an actor. And then the roles come in because people understand you. And they understand what you be good at. And then the roles come in that are really very much tailored to you because people can see you and understand you. Like this Joe Jackson role he's about to do. I just saw a picture. I was just like, bro, he's going to get an Oscar nomination for this. I mean, gosh darn, the hair and makeup team looked amazing. And Coleman, just in the one clip where he goes, I'll tell you what to think. I was just like, I was scared. I was scared in half a second of a clip. of Joe Jackson. I was just like, you're gonna beat my ass. Better learn these dance moves.
Well, you the next one on the list to get those awards, though, for sure, man. Like, we really appreciate you coming in and taking the time today to hang out with us.
And
like,
always a pleasure. And thank you so much for coming on, Justin.
thank you so much. I mean, we could probably do 2 to 5 hours, but
Exactly. You know,
thank
You're
you
always
so
welcome
much,
to
man.
come back.
I feel
Just
like
wear
I barely
tracksuit.
scratched
back
the surface
again.
here.
Yeah,
Of what's
you're
going
always
on.
welcome back.
Sure.
I'll
Thank
be
you
back.
so much.
You guys.
Thank you.